Hello YouTubers, how are you all today? Today I'm going to be having a chat with a friend of mine. We're just going to have a general chat on the whole Libya situation. The whole Gaddafi and Libya situation just recently kicked off. Now, as far as I can see it, it just kind of feels a bit like deja vu, a little bit like history repeating itself. Obviously we had the invasion in Iraq, and that was to do with ridding the people of Iraq from a dictator, from a cruel dictator. And obviously we've got Gaddafi in Libya, and we want to get rid of him. But my question is, we'll see what Lloyd's thoughts are when Lloyd he'll give his thoughts. But I mean, isn't there lots of world dictators that are kind of cruel and not very nice? I mean, what about that Robert Mugabe in Zimbabwe? Did we go and invade Zimbabwe? Well, we didn't. So it just seems to me like a bit of pick and choose. Obviously, is there something in the nation that's of interest to us? Oil, say, it just seems to be that unless there's some ulterior motive, some kind of motivation, we don't tend to sort out other countries' problems. So why are we wanting to sort out this country's problems? It's just, just the whole situation raises a lot of questions for me. So I don't know. It's just it's very strange. So Lloyd, what are your thoughts on this whole situation in Libya?
My thoughts on this thing in Libya is basically that I think there's an agenda going on. There's something being played out. Because it's a bit convenient that there's oil there, and everywhere where there's oil, they tend to go in. There's tend to be war, and then there's coalition forces going in. There's always something there, like you say, but they don't go in for no reason. And I think it could be because of the oil, but I also think that it could be also because they're trying to increase the level, of terrorism alert, to bring in a police state all around the world, to put the new world order together, because the terrorism threat idea is dying off, and they're going, oh, we can't have this. We've got to reignite this flame.
Yeah, the fear.
So that's basically what I think is going on here. And because Gaddafi is known for terrorism in the past.
Right.
And they know that, the public know that. So when people know, oh, this could be a terror threat, people will go, oh God, terror alert, oh, panic and all sorts. And basically I think that they're trying to reignite, get people at fear of terrorism. And which will lead to more security precautions, which will introduce the new world order, police state, and basically I think that's what's being played out here. It's one big play being played.
Right, yeah. It does seem to be. It does seem that way. I mean, I was just seeing today some of the headlines. The United Nations resolution forbids the targeting of Gaddafi himself. So not allowed to go in and take Gaddafi out personally. So what exactly are they doing there? I suppose just trying to bring down the whole infrastructure of the nation to dethrone him.
Well, if they're saying that they can't target Gaddafi, then obviously they want to keep that evil person alive to be used to put fear on people, i.e. terrorism. So it really does make my my theory get stronger more. All that. They could be going in for something else. They could be going in for oil. There could be other things there. They're after. I don't know what it is, but I think we'll see over the coming months how it's going to unfold. And I think as it unfolds, you're going to see that they're going to up the terror alert.
Yeah.
And And if you remember correctly, if you've seen in the news lately, Gaddafi spoke out and said that he is urging all nations to stand against this attack, and says people in Europe and the UK and that your own people are against this, your own people will turn on you.
Yeah.
And so that tells me is that this could be used to to have this thing, what's your neighbour thing, your neighbour could be a terrorist, he could be for Gaddafi and so forth, to put this police state in, this new world order. So it is a bit, when you said that, I thought, hold on, we've heard this line before.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean. Because the media could utilise those things that Gaddafi have said, and and then before you know it, certain events is all linked back to well, this is why we had to go into Libya. We did the right thing because obviously, like, these terror threats are coming about, and they just link it all back to Libya in order to justify their original actions going in. Yeah. But I forgot what I was going to say. It was right there. It just had amnesia.
I get that time.
Yeah.
So it is a bit. I'm gonna see how it unfolds, and I think there's a lot more to this than meets the eye.
Yeah.
I urge all people out there, and don't listen to the mainstream media. Do your research, look into it, look between the lines, and if you can, dig deep, look into the history of Gaddafi, look at the history how nations have gone in interventions, and you will see that there's always something going on. It's either oil or there's an agenda. I urge anybody who's not into the truth movement, who's just watching this and who's skeptical of this, do your research before you start saying things against these theories. Just look into it and and make up your own mind, basically.
I agree. I completely agree. And just kind of expanding on what you were saying there about terror, and obviously using that in order to bring in like a police state and what have you. It just kind of makes sense that if you can make the public fearful and on edge about potential terrorist attacks, then what you're doing is you're then making the public willing to give up their privacy and their rights, aren't you? All in the name of like security and peace of mind and what have you. So therefore, you go to the airports and you're scanned like hell. You're out on the streets. The CCTV cameras everywhere. I mean, just use that as the one example. Think years ago, like all this CCTV. I mean, the United Kingdom, which is where we're obviously from, is the heaviest, most CCTV nation in the world. I mean, it's crazy here, the amount of CCTV. And of course, it is an invasion of privacy. You can't go anywhere without being watched. But you see, like, people are going to become more accepting of that if they think, well, hey, it needs to go on because obviously the government, they care. They're just trying to protect us, from terrorism and what have you. So we're just gonna take it lying down. We're just gonna be like perfectly okay with that.
I mean, just look at areas where they have nightclubs. I mean, every road where they have nightclubs and bars and stuff, it's full of CCTV cameras. It's everywhere. There's about 5 or 6 of them in one street. There's not one corner, not in that. Even alleyways now, where you throw your rubbish out, they're putting cameras up there. I mean, it's crazy.
Oh, it is. And I mean, I think the next thing on the cards is for everyone to get RFID chips. And I talk to people about the RFID chip, and people say, "Oh no, that would never come about. There's no way." But people say that now, and I say to people, well, yeah, you think that now, but okay, give it, it wouldn't even take that long. Give it time, and you'll be asking for it. You won't just be willing to tolerate it. You'll be asking for it. Because like the shadow government have this way of steering and manipulating public thinking, don't they?
I mean, this thing in Libya could be coming towards that, and I reckon. I mean, if you think about it, of all these identity frauds that's going on, I reckon it's the elite who are behind all this identity frauds to get people thinking, well, if I have this chip, no one can steal my identity. No one, So, see what I mean? It's just like they're playing the people in such a way that they're just going to, like you say, want this, demand this, and and then it becomes mandatory, and if you refuse to take it, they stick you in jail or something,
Oh yeah.
Because you suspect, you still be suspicious of you, they'll put you away,
I agree. Also, just something else I thought of here, Lloyd. Obviously there's a lot going on simultaneously in the world. There's so much we could talk about in the world right now. Things going on, earth changes, disasters, nuclear threat. Obviously, like there's so much going on in every corner of the earth. Do you think that there's a possibility that the media could be putting our attention on particular world events while distracting us from other world events?
Quite possibly. It's quite possibly that's what they are doing. That how it works is with these elites is they want you to see what they want you to see, and so they could be steering people's attention from something else. Like we had a couple of weeks ago, this thing, possibly the pole shift could start on the 15th of March. Maybe they actually believed it would happen, and this Libya thing was to steer people away, and maybe it's still going to increase, and they're just thinking, well, we've got to keep these people occupied while all this is going on, because if people take notice of this, they will get precaution, they will get medical supplies, ration packs, and then head to the safe zones. So what they're doing is they're keeping the people busy until all it's down.
Yeah, it could be.
Could be. I don't know.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, go on.
I know it's not part of the subject, but maybe they like in America, they keep the Americans busy, and something might be going on there. We don't know.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some things imminent in America. Yeah. Definitely, because so many people are talking about that.
Yeah.
But that goes on onto a whole new topic of conversation, doesn't it?
Yes, that's why I didn't go.
Yeah.
That'll be another video for another day, and hopefully by then more intel on that one.
But do you think that this whole Libya situation is going to spread to other Middle Eastern countries? Do you think that? What do you think about that?
Yes, it will. I think it will. I think it's going to go right across. It's going to go from Libya right across Egypt. It's going to cause a conflict in Egypt. It's going to go right through to Arabia, Saudi Arabia, right through to Israel.
Right.
Because if you look at the prophecies and how things were told and how the Bible tells things, I mean, you've got to remember these elites, they're trying to carry out what the Bible said.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to spread. It's going to go right through.
That's something we should talk about one day, Lloyd. In fact, pretty soon. I'm going to jot that down on my notepad because that's something that's been on my mind. Bible prophecy and the elites, the New World Order people. I mean, like, are they trying to bring about a counterfeit Bible prophecy fulfillment? Because I've wondered about that. So that's something that you obviously know something about. So we must have a chat about that someday.